We can clinch our berth to the Big 12 championship game here today at 6-1. West Virginia 5-1. TCU the last of the one-loss teams. Now we all know how that West Virginia game ended for us. Not good. But in a throwback to Game 2 of the season, we faced the Horned Frogs. They were our first official Big 12 game, and we beat them 34-24. And that was with Mason Kelsay throwing for 3 touchdowns, just about 250 yards on 73% complete. Additionally, he also ran the ball in for a touchdown. And that is just one of many multi-touchdown days for him. However, we've also seen multi-turnover days as well. But against the Houston Cougars last game, Coach Ty got it all sorted and seems to be the benchmark for how he wants to use Mason Kelsay, who did have 3 passing touchdowns over 300 yards and set a school record for career passing yards. He also found himself with 2 rushing touchdowns. That has him just 2 more away from tying Josh Cribb's record. 3 would etch his name in 3 separate categories. But Tech is no slouch. They've been on the up and up from 22-19 heading into this week, but in only playing 2 top 25 teams, including Baylor, which they lost to by 1 point in a comeback attempt orchestrated by Tayshawn King. But they did trounce the Boise State Broncos in their second top 25 matchup, 42-28. And while we love Mason Kelsay, Texas Tech loves Chester Burns, a redshirt sophomore coming in at a 94 overall. And this guy is not capped. He's showing that out on the field, closing in on 3,000 yards passing, 21 touchdowns to just 3 interceptions. That's a ratio that's going to give you about 7 touchdowns to just 1 turnover. To add on to it, the dual threat also has 6 rushing touchdowns. They do, most of the time, go to Colin Wilson, though, their junior running back, averaging just under 4 yards a carry. And their primary receiving target is number 17, Leighton Stone. He's looking for a 1,000-yard season, and 2 more touchdowns would give him double digits. However, the leader of their defense is Adam Kelsay, an edge rusher rather than the linebackers we've seen of late. And he leads Texas Tech in TFLs and sacks. This doesn't seem to be a team that forces many turnovers. So as we head on the road to Lubbock, we face the Texas Tech Red Raiders. A win solidifies our spot in the Big 12 championship game. A loss, and this gets really messy with 2 weeks left to play. But let's not let this one get messy, as Grubb has us underway down in Lubbock. I think I see some tortillas flying in the crowd, nearly finding a good cutback, but brought down at the 20. For B will our day gets going. Chester Burns coming off a 326-yard, 2-touchdown passing day. Now, I don't want to brag about Kent State, but they did get an interception last game, something that does not happen all too often. Can they force one on a rare, inaccurate pass there? 2nd and 10. This time they go to the run game here, and that will pan out. Zyman will get the tackle, but well downfield. Defense lined up a little wide there, and, well, Chester's going to take advantage of it. They go back to the run game here. A bad miss there. Zyman shucking off one. Wilson still going before getting shoved out inside the 30. The run game definitely leading the way here for the Red Raiders. Let's go back to it. This time, Tim Snead shows up. Texas Tech is going to look to run as often as we've seen so far. Going to need a whole lot more of that. Going out to the screen, and there is Walker. One of the seniors just celebrated in their last game, senior day back in Kent. It was a good one for them. They're looking to clean things up here. The 3rd and long, and not going to spin jump. Whatever the intention was there, I guess want to be Saquon Barkley. Comes up well short. It's 4th and 8 left hash. Texas Tech with a field goal attempt, and that one is good. Opening drive will be 3 points for the Red Raiders. Now, considering how that drive started for Coach Ty's Golden Flash defense, they will take it. They bend, they don't break. They get the ball to the offense. Ivan Carrion, the senior receiver. He's coming off a stretch of really good performances. We're going to see how much they keep him involved as play one will be a pitch to the outside on the triple option. Yazzie up the sideline to the 48. He was a big part in the bounce back performance last week, taking on the Houston Cougars. He as well as Dupree both got involved, and both are on the field here. The 1st and 10, it's Yazzie right down center field and another first down. But both offenses so far with hot starts to the drive. Either one of these teams going to finish with a touchdown? We will find out here. Play action, rolling right, throwing to absolutely nobody. You really got to hope that ball just slipped out of the hands there of Kelsay, because he had Yazzie on his own down the left sideline. And under pressure here, they try to set up the screen. But Junior Rudd takes that away. After just seeing so much success to open up this drive, now you're facing a 3rd and 17. Only a 3-man front, though, here for the Raiders. They do bring the blitz off the edge. Throws out towards the sideline, but too tall for Harris. Well, it'll actually end up being a punt then for Kent State. A really good drive for both sides to start, but neither one pans out like they were hoping. It's to Texas Tech here with a 3-point lead. They hand it off, and the linebacker's all over it. It's Snead again. He's really picked up his play the second half of this season. Just a sophomore linebacker learning a lot from Walker, the senior. Passes out to the side and caught. However, it will be 2 yards short of the first down off that quick slant. 3rd and 2, double A gap look. Bringing the heat, Chester will get out of it on the read option. Spinning by, but not away. Robinson the table there for Nelson to shove Chester over. 1st and 10, though, for the Raiders. As they go RPO, trying to get outside, and will hook up with the big man out in space. That is a screen pass to a tight end. Another screen pass going out to the tight end. Upended Robinson, the part-time safety. Not afraid of the big fellas, and you can't be if you're going to play safety. 3rd and inches here, stacking the front, and Chester dives left side for the first. Looked like Snead was waiting for it, just wasn't lined up in the right gap. Texas Tech first down here as they go back to the read option. They hand it off this time, breaking the tackle, looking for the angle. P. Crowell in pursuit, but will not catch up to Wilson. An early 10-point deficit for Kent State. They're going to have to bounce back in a major way, and they've got to figure out how to stop the run. The Red Raiders. Before you could focus in on getting the stop there on defense, you need some points here offensively. They started their last drive well. They just ended up stalling out. On the run here, and Kelsay just threw it straight at the linebacker. Not sure the last time that panned out well for a team, but I guess it doesn't harm the team here. Just falls incomplete, and as the linebacker was not prepared. That pass incomplete. The Raiders have a quick opportunity here to get off the field. Already up by 10. Tries the hard count. There's definite movement, though no flag is on it. Pass into Catula is caught, but he goes down with the catch. Definitely took away some yak opportunity there. He had a good step on the corner. Kent State will go hurry up here, right back to the line. Bringing the blitz, chucking this one downfield. Intended for Ivan Carrion. It's off his fingertips. That was one of the few passes so far today Kelsay's been able to get out cleanly, facing some good rush from the Tech front. A little bit of some RPO is by the corner, just barely. Catula with the first down and skipping out of bounds there at the 44. Coach Ty has his offense now plus side for the second time. This is where they stalled out last time. Raiders defense showed up with a pass rush. This time, a little bit of some RPO to freeze some of that rush, and Yazzie will get what he can. Does just look to be a gain of 2 following behind the big hog maulers up front. Triple option here. Kelsay does pitch it out late to Yazzie, who will extend that play. That's really what we've come to see from Mason Kelsay. He will pitch that ball out late. Sometimes it's been a little too late. Play action here. They've got an open target, though a little too much loft for Harry Hassman. If you didn't have your outside receiver out there, that might have been a great opportunity. But led him straight into a defender, falls incomplete, and the first quarter comes to a close. Texas Tech currently on top by 10 points. Kent State looking to answer as we will begin the second quarter. And that'll be with the Red Raider fans out here chanting hard for their boys to get the stop approaching the red zone. We start at the 28-yard line. More triple option again. It's pitched outside. Yazzie, he's got the sideline. 10-5, touchdown. Jimmy Yazzie opening up the second quarter with a much-needed score here for Kent State. In a top 25 battle pitting 13 versus 19, a game that could send us to the Big 12 championship. We need more of that. But we also need the defense to pick us up a stop. Red Raiders have shown a lot of option offense here in terms of RPOs as we see here. Defense, though, does a much better job collapsing on that one. They've also had a lot of read options as well. We'll see what Coach Ty decides to do. Going to the running back here and a first down for Wilson. 5 carries, closing in on 80 yards already. Had their big touchdown on the previous drive. First and 10 here to the 30. They go back to him. Snead and Walker are there. That's a big TFL, something they have not gotten many of in this one. Wilson finding a lot of space. Gonna need the front 4 to make some good push up front and disrupt those plays. That pass thrown to the flat, and Keith Crowell again misses. That's happened on back-to-back weeks. Of course, the secondary not very highly recognized at all. In fact, a lot of teams very much have attacked them this season as they find their big fella once again. Terrence Furrer racking up not only targets but yards as well. A few first downs for him. In fact, Tech already has 8 on the day. Good tackle there from Crowell. And frankly, with how Tech is slinging this ball all around the field here, we're not going to see a whole lot of pass rush. This game will rely on the second level as Stone nearly had a shot at the end zone there. He just couldn't stay in bounds. First and 10, just outside the 10. There's a little bit of space for an extra set of downs here. Throwing short, and the linebacker stepped down, looking like Chester was going to scramble. It left Wilson wide open, coming off of a little chip block, and he's got 2 touchdowns on the day. 1 on the ground, 1 through the air. Here in Lubbock, the Red Raiders are very much in control. 17-7, giving that ball then to Kent State. Once again trailing by 10 here. They need a big play here, and Mason Kelsay, he looks to get outside. He's by the 50, the 40, the 30, the 20, in pursuit, but will not catch Mason Kelsay. He is 1 touchdown away from tying Josh Cribbs' rushing touchdown record for Kent State at 38 in a career. That is number 37. And it's a massive score. It'll settle down the crowd here in Lubbock. But right now, the defense has got to be the focus here for Kent State. They've got to start making plays, as they do there on Furrer. The true freshman at safety, Derek Zyman, steps down quickly, actually picks up a tackle for a loss of 1 on the play. But finding a soft spot in coverage, Furrer's back with a big chunk. And that time, Chester attacking Jackson, who was a slot corner. Actually, outside corner at one point this season, but the speed definitely was not helping out this team. He got moved there, and, well, the speed of the tight end was a problem. Kent State can continue racking up some plays closer to the line like we've seen a couple times this drive. They should be at a good spot. They just need a little bit more consistency with the coverage. Pressure there, and it hits home. That's Blackwell coming off the right side of the offensive line and sets up a 3rd and 14. And that is a massive sack here for Kent State. It puts them in a really good spot here, but they still have to finish this drive. They cannot give up a first down here. 14 needed for Texas Tech. Throws over the middle and broken up. That is Robinson. And a punt forced. And that gives us a massive opportunity here. With just over 3 minutes to play in the first half, we could take a lead. Kelsay, once again on the triple option, tries to shake one. He does get by one. However, more Raider defenders were there to bring him down. Still goes as a first down, play 1. Can't harp about that whatsoever. Yazzie down the middle for 3. As we slowly now approach here the 2-minute break. It'll be at the 32. Playing tight on the outside here. Mason Kelsay looks to get outside, chucking this ball off of his back foot and falls incomplete. If not for the pass rush coming off the left side of the line, Kelsay could have set his feet. We'd probably be calling an Ivan Carrion touchdown right now. But a 3rd and 7 with early movement right side of this line. Looks like that's going to be called on Texas Tech. Encroachment on Elias Rudolph. Instead of a 3rd and long, now you're facing a much more manageable 3rd down here. Bunch right for Kelsay. They snap that ball, they hand it off. That's Yazzie right down the middle, setting up the triple option. Frankly, that's not an option we've seen much this year for this team, as they had the receiver being that 3rd option. That became very popular with Tank Hawkins over the last couple of years. He's obviously moved on. Kelsay moving on from the pocket here and close to getting the 1st down. That will pause the clock for just a moment. As they get the chains reset here, it does continue to roll. The 43, Kelsay surveys the field. Rolls right, throwing out right, laying it in there for Harry Hassman. He's checked in a few times this year with some very timely plays. As they continue with a hurry up here, moving inside a minute 40 to go. And they hand this one off to Harris. He's their punt returner. He's only going to manage about 1 on that one. Now, they do go back to the huddle, so clock does run. They still have all 3 timeouts for when they do choose to use them. Kelsay will step up. He had Yazzie in the flat on the wheel route, but just wasn't able to hook up with him that time. So 3rd and 10 here. You got some options. Throwing outside, you've got Carrion close to the 1st down, but it looks short. Tech calls the timeout. But it's the offense for Kent State taking the field here. 4th and 2. No hard count, just lofting this one outside, and Carrion will finish what he started. Breaking the tackle. Looks like he was fighting to get out of bounds, but coach will call the 1st timeout there. Definitely risky to go for it there. You could have tied the game with that field goal, but Coach Ty, he's aggressive. That's what he learned from Coach Barrington. Yazzie here on the RPO. Will be close and will have the 1st down. Zach Gessner shaken up on the tackle for Texas Tech. And will end up being a timeout forced then for the Red Raiders. Coach Ty can hold on to 2 more with 42 seconds to work with. Some shift over on the left side here. Mason Kelsay on the direct run. Does not find the edge, maybe even losing some yards. They're right back to it here. Kelsay bounces left, and that is the record tied. Josh Cribbs now has company at the top for rushing touchdowns. And it also puts Kent State in front here. 15 seconds left in the 1st half in Lubbock. Well, the Raiders would just elect to send this one to halftime from there. They didn't try anything with those 15 seconds remaining. And we had a massive 2nd quarter there for Kent State, seeing them come back after a rough 1st quarter. Their defense got some stops, and their offense put up quite a performance there. Mason Kelsay, 2 rushing touchdowns in the 1st half, ties the record. And his next one will set that record. But there's a lot of other players on this team Coach Ty talked about in the past, not focusing primarily in on Kelsay. That puts him in a rough spot. We've seen what those games have led to. He's going to rely on Kelsay, Yazzie, and all the different receiving options to keep that offense going. Defensively, this is going to come up to really the front 7. Can they find a way to slow down Wilson? He's been the biggest problem for the Golden Flash defense. Coach Ty will have a little extra time to get his defense situated, as it will be Golden Flash ball starting off the 2nd half with a 4-point lead. And it's Dupree down the middle on that triple option. They went his way a record of 3, maybe even 4 times last week on that play. It has not happened very often and will not happen on the following play here. Mason Kelsay with space again. He is outside by the 40 and angles out, still taking contact. He's normally not one to shy away from contact, and he's definitely not one to get calls from the referees. That's very much to the dismay of Coach Ty, who's yelled at quite a few referees to get those calls. But inside enemy territory here, and now they're going to that triple option. It's Ivan Carrion. He's the one getting that triple pitch. He got 7. I think that might be his first time getting a triple option sent his way. Now it does look like Kelsay's trying to change something here. And Coach Ty's going to have to call a timeout here early. That could potentially come back to bite Kent State later in this game, having to call one of their 3 second-half timeouts. Defense just looked to be in a better position than they were expecting. Going out to Katula here. He picks up the block from Nair Daniels, but can't get by. It's not like it wasn't a first down anyway here for Kent State, so they're going to keep this one on a roll in here. As Kelsay again, he's trying to get things situated here. Just getting that snap off in time. Jimmy Yazzie picking up about 8. It definitely seems like the offense is slowing down, but almost in a way that is costing them almost more than it's gaining them. Quick flip on the outside. That's Harris, his second play of the game. And we'll see if this slower approach and draining clock ends up panning out here for Kent State. Not something they've done much of this season, as they're going back to that quarterback power. And Adam Kelsay just absolutely wrecked him. Second and goal following a short loss. A little pump fake over the middle. Pressure building. Kelsay steps up. He avoids one and will end up maybe getting close to the line. Elias Rudolph, who had a penalty called on him earlier in this game, will get credit with that tackle. Third and goal here. Mason Kelsay looking to go to the air here, or no, he's actually going to scramble out and dive in for the rushing touchdown. Number 3 on the day, and he now stands at the top, surpassing Josh Cribbs, who went to the NFL, turned receiver and an excellent kick returner for the Cleveland Browns. Mason Kelsay surpasses him in all-time career rushing touchdowns. And we may very well have to check in on the rushing yards record as well. But a 2-score lead here, Kent State, to kickstart the second half. Going to Wilson. Tech not only goes as a gain of 1, now they're going hurry up opposite to Kent State, who drained about 6 minutes off that clock. Wilson chopped out Keith Crowell, and he does not appear to be in great shape after that chop of a tackle. He is able, however, to get off the field under his own power, but that's definitely something to keep an eye on throughout the remainder of this game. It'll come down to Chester, who just got rocked, and a forced punt it will be. Just a terrific job coming out of the halftime break here from this Golden Flash team. They take over up by 11 and go goal line around the 50-yard line. Now you have Kelsay there. Unfortunate, he had some more space available, but he does pick up 4 there on first down. Dupree motions into the backfield, helps get a little bit of a chip block, and a first down here for Yazzie. He just simply kept those legs chugging, getting that first down by the 45-yard line. And play action here again, just able to get outside, and Kelsay will just take the easy play, diving forward into the defender. He absolutely just clocked the man who he hit. I think that was the linebacker, number 31. Good news, he also held on to the ball. Motion across, that's going to be his receiver. RPO, and strikes downfield to Katula. There was only 1, maybe 2 defenders there that could have stopped that play, but he stopped himself, securing the grab. Though he might have the opportunity here, and will. Ivan Carrion sealed the block on the quick RPO flip to the flat. Robert Katula with another touchdown. This time Mason Kelsay throwing the ball. And this is now widening the lead. Kent State very much in control. But we are not far removed from when Texas Tech was the college football's leading offense in yards and points. And for them, they have Wilson back out there. That is going to be big for them as we now head to the 4th. Now, we talked about Texas Tech not being that far removed from being one of the league's best offenses, but in college football, these teams are ever changing every single year. I mean, look at how far Kent State has come. Ranked 13th, looking to clinch their spot in the Big 12 championship game. As we kickstart the 4th quarter here, a win in this 4th would ensure it. The 23-yard line, it's 2nd and 5. Couple options, and throws a risky ball, but it's gonna pan out here for Tech. Jalen Smith catches it in a very narrow window. The linebackers were shifting over. There was help over the top. Great ball coming in from Chester. And throws again into a tight window, but again for success. Mr. Burns with back-to-back risky throws and a great job from his receivers to help pay off for him. For the 46, they are now plus side. Facing the blitz, passes out quickly and caught Furrer. A lot of success for him today. He's also a freshman here for the Texas Tech Red Raiders, so he could have a lot of success over the years to come. They go to Stone and he converts. Haven't seen as much from him today, the leading receiver for Texas Tech. Some play action, looking to get his receiver almost sent to the hospital. Ricky Taylor luckily ricocheting off that hit, no problem, and is right back out there, slot side to the right side. 2nd and 10, it's back to Stone, slipping the tackle of Snead for a couple yards. Those couple yards picks up another set of downs here, and they need them down 35-17 inside 6.5 minutes to play. They hand it off, and stuffing it is Robinson, a coverage specialist safety who's had to play more slot corner than anything this year. And he's really helped out this defense, especially the secondary. Walker sends on the blitz, and it disrupts the timing. Just a couple incompletions for Chester Burns on the day, that time just purely due to inaccuracy. Setting up the screen here. Good blocks in front, though Walker almost gets there. Instead, give credit to Jackson with that tackle. And it's 4th and 4 here. Raiders staying out on offense, as they'll send everyone out to one side, and they've got the touchdown. Double A gap. Walker sprints out there to try to cover, but with the slant coming back in, Turner had him beat. And it was Chester Burns who read that from the snap, giving the Red Raiders a little bit of some hope. Now they do still trail here by 11 points. Starting back at the 25, a crucial drive here for Kent State. And it starts with Elias Rudolph picking up a 4-yard loss. Now, good news, Mason Kelsay didn't try to pitch it there, so he just eats the loss on the play. Lofting this one outside, Rodney Lupke, he breaks the tackle. That is a first down, Kent State to the 40. And it's been too long since we've gotten to call his name. Defenses have just taken far more notice of the freshman. This time pitching back, it's Yazzie, unable to keep his feet. But he does pick up 8. Was arguably another risky pitch there. Martin on the carry, he's got the first. And you got to give him credit, sticking around here with Kent State. Been here since day one. With 3 hands down, it's Dupree spinning forward for an extra yard or 2. You've got now the Red Raiders calling their timeouts. They've got 2. Kent State has 2 as they had to call one of theirs early in the 3rd quarter. And this time, it's Yazzie with no space to go. So 3rd and 7 then. With one more timeout here for Tech, a first down could be devastating. They only bring 4. It's out to Yazzie on the screen. He will have the first down and a little bit more, but a free timeout as Vi Selavaye injured, starting left guard. Now, he was recognized last week with a monstrous block, 2 blocks actually on one play, which resulted in a touchdown. Hopefully, he'll be able to return to this game. RPO Yazzie, he shucks off one and even steps over the man, picking up a good chunk, and ultimately calls the last remaining timeout for Tech. 2nd and 3. And Kelsay throws incomplete. Looked like, again, they're trying to set up a screen, something they haven't ran very often, a little slip screen for the up running back. Doesn't pan out. 3rd and 3, demonstrous blocks up front, and Kelsay will keep it and ensure the first down. And that also ensures we can kneel this game away. And with that, we send ourselves to the Big 12 championship game. Another 4 more touchdowns for Mason Kelsay in this one, breaking yet another record. And he's sending us to back-to-back championship games, though this time the first year in the Big 12. And depending on how things end up panning out in the final week, we could be seeing a rematch versus West Virginia. And once again, following a game, we get the official look. I really wish this was included in-game. Just throw up a little something. But career rushing touchdowns belongs to Mason Kelsay. Now, I would also love to see something about clinching the Big 12 championship too, because we've done that. Right now, we are all through our conference games at 7-1. TCU, they could finish 7-1, and we could have a rematch there, as West Virginia did end up losing while we were playing Texas Tech. Baylor is also in the running, still Iowa State. All is a possibility right now, so who our opponent is going to be in that championship game, we still do not know. But what we do know is Coach Ty is returning to the farm. After leaving that school, not as a player, he was actually hired on by Coach Barrington as a linebacker coach following the end of his player career, before he ended up going to Arkansas State as a offensive coordinator, because he was a running back in high school. If you don't know the lore, got to make sure you're up to date on it. But we are headed back to Palo Alto, Coach Ty's first time playing against his alma mater. And surprisingly, Stanford has grown just a little bit in this series. They're up to a 74. They're only 4-7. But we should not overlook any opponent, as we are barely inside the college football playoff bracket right now, coming in at 11. You can see it just above my head. In fact, currently, if things were to start right now, we would be slated to play against Alabama. Is our defense prepared for games like this? Games like that could also greatly help us in a battle here for Darren Cleveland. Alabama has indeed overtaken us. We're still going to keep the 50 points in on him, because I'm hoping we could drag this out to the offseason, and if that's so, Alabama may drop off. They may not. But we're still going to be going after the 5-star dual threat quarterback. As for some other updates, Lane Steffen is still holding out here on NC State. Perhaps he is hoping that we would reach back out, but we're not going to do that. We are maybe a game and a half away from getting Paul Browning to commit. As for Gregory McLean, we are still holding on against Tennessee. We might just land him after our final regular season game next time. Addison probably going to be a little bit further out, an athlete tight end. We're just really kind of hanging around here with Scotty Rubin. We're not pushing hard there. As for some of the new guys we've been going after, DeAndre Lake, doing well there. Coker, we're doing very well. Oklahoma State is getting into the mix here for the man out of Utah. Ogba, we've jumped on top for. Dog, we are very much climbing here. Arkansas is getting into the race. Michigan State, they're trying to hold on, but this is still very far from over. As for the linebacker we added last time, in Kobe Iwabema, a big jump for us. We're going to start competing against Oregon for the thumper linebacker. And I'm sure everyone is, one, wanting to see, but two, wondering, what is the rushing yards leader? That is going to be Astron Waitley. Just about 4,000 rushing yards. Mason Kelsay has his name here not only once, but 2 more times. But he would have to come back for another season to even potentially land that 4th mark with the most amount of rushing yards. Currently, he's closing in on 2,500, so a good bit away. But what a career here from Mason Kelsay. And as a redshirt junior, he still has an extra year of eligibility. Do you think he should come back and try to claim one more record here at Kent State? Or should this man be headed to the NFL? Either way, we hope he leads us back to the playoffs. We got there last year in a good game versus Oregon. This year, we would like to pick up our first win, but we got to get through Stanford. We got to get through the Big 12 championship first. Make sure you don't miss out by hitting that bear icon in the bottom right corner, or you could scroll down and hit the sub button. They both do the exact same thing, making sure you are subscribed to this channel, as it is a free way just to help ensure you are here for all of Coach Ty and Coach Barrington's adventures with the Giants and with Kent State. I hope you guys enjoyed yesterday's live stream with the Giants. We'll look to get their next season underway on Tuesday. Make sure you're notified about that and our next episode here against Stanford, returning to the farm. Hit the bell icon. And also make sure you're leaving these boys a massive thumbs up. They got the job done today, and they did it while playing clean.